Hey everyone, in this video I'll show you my typical workflow at an outcrop, tying up a lot of what we talked about in the tutorial playlist. This is just a basic workflow that goes over some of the main things I do at an outcrop. Depending on what your objectives and goals are in the field, you might have a different workflow and use some of the different modules included in StraboSpot. I won't go into any of the specialized modules here. This is just meant to be a basic example for what I do at an outcrop. In my case here, I'm working on metamorphic rocks in this dome and doing a structural section. So the first thing I will do at an outcrop is create a spot there. If I'm standing at the outcrop, what I'll do is hold the spot button on the bottom right, and then the symbol will change, as it just did. And if I tap that, a spot will be created at my location. Since I'm not actually there right now, I'll hold that again and switch it back, and I'll put my spot down. So the spot is created. The first thing I'll do is just tag it with my unit. So this has already been defined, and if you want to learn how to do that, there's a video on there in this playlist. Next, I'll put in some notes about the outcrop. So here, I'll just write that. It's about the outcrop. Great. The next thing I might do is take some measurements. So say I want to measure the foliation and lineation. I tap the compass on the bottom, and I go to plane first for the foliation. I define it, and then I'll align my compass with the foliation plane and tap the compass. So on the right, you can see that it's filled in the foliation. Next, I'll take my line measurements. I'll measure my lineation. In this case, it's a stretching lineation. I'll scroll down here, and it's defined by biotite. So here, I'll align my compass with the lineation. Just do that as an example, and tap the compass. Great, so now we have a foliation and lineation on the map. We have some notes. The next thing I'd like to add is a picture. So if I'm at the outcrop, I'll tap the camera and take a photo. I can import a photo in this case, and that's my outcrop. And so here we're looking at some refolded folds. So what I might do in this case is annotate this image. So if I tap there on the right, the pencil icon, and then I might make my pen a bit bigger. On the top right, I'll tap that dot twice, and that makes the pen bigger. And so I'll annotate this generation of fold first in red. I'll put in some dashed lines, and I'll call this F1 for my F1 fold. And then I'll switch to green for the second generation, and I'll put in my line through there, and we'll call that F2. And we'll save that out and close that. So now we have the original image and the annotated version of the image. And I'll go back here. And so we have our unit, we have some notes, we have some measurements, and some photos. And so, of course, there's a lot more we could do, a whole bunch of modules, and we can go into more detail with all of these. But this is just a basic workflow for what I would do at an outcrop. And then depending on what you're doing, you can specialize your workflow to fit your sort of data. Thanks.